Hello, I'm Lex from Dead Gentry, and this is a video that just kind of looks like a normal day of shopping for us. We went to a few estate sales, and then I believe we went toy, and Will and I stopped off at a local grocery store for lunch. So, just an idea of some of the types of properties we go to and what going to an estate sale can look like if it's a private one residence home. That's what this was, in a gated community. Inside, there were some lovely examples of vintage and antique pieces. They had puzzle boxes. Don't be turned off as well sometimes by patina and dust at sales like these. Some of the loveliest pieces are pieces you simply need to take home, wipe off, and clean up, and they're very worthy additions to any collection. This individual had a great deal of black and white photos and seashells, along with this gorgeous ritual copper pot. And I couldn't remember if I included this footage, excuse me, in an earlier video where we saw one of the most incredible cookie jar collections in all of California. So I thought I would add it in here as well, just in case this was footage that didn't make the cut last time. Great examples here of Felix the Cat, Pillsbury Doughboy, Nightmare Before Christmas, Batman, Sesame Street, Speed Racer. This person had everything in their cookie jar collection. And I believe we actually picked up a few of these and they've already sold. They're no longer available. I think we had Oscar the Grouch and also Ernie from Sesame Street that both already sold. Just absolutely beautiful. Honestly, if we'd had more arms that day or more space left in the SUV we were using that day, Will and I, as we were sourcing, we probably would have tried to pick up more. But cookie jars can also be a very difficult ship. They can be very heavy and they can be very difficult to package if you don't know what you're doing. So we try to limit some of the bigger, weightier, finer objects like this, especially if we don't know if we're going to be able to then sell them locally, because shipping across country really risks them getting damaged in the mail. This is back inside. This was some of their toys. The person had an amazing toy collection as well. Here, again, I couldn't remember if I included this footage somewhere else or not. That is a beautiful example of a late 19th century ornate painted and brass glass Victorian lamp with hanging crystals for $500 on that piece. And these stained glass window inserts that were in between rooms in the home within the residence, just absolutely breathtaking. I'm just enjoying looking at the footage with you now. I think we'll purchase that one of those dragons. Here, there's very fine folk art beadwork in a collection. This was another estate sale we attended. Also, look, I was distracted by the TY Beanie Babies. Pieces in this person's collection were not just Native American, but also Mexican, South African, ranging depending on age and size and quality of workmanship, anywhere from $250 to $600 for the seed beadwork pieces. Lovely reticulated porcelain plate there with the punched through, almost lace work around that peacock. Beautiful carpets as well. Fine collection of carved wood. Again, more of that fine seed beadwork. These were some of the larger, more elaborate pieces that were being displayed for sale. I believe there were also figureroles that were very fine. Oh, yep, there they are. You can see some of that beautiful South African work. And this was afterwards. So one of the ideas I've played with our Whatnot live streams is whether or not I should live stream from certain locations. This is a bookstore. And if people have interest in it, I might at some point do this. Here is a lot of what they have that just happens to be Harry Potter in this area. Someday I might actually go in here and let people purchase things live from the store, where I'll pick it up like a personal shopper for them and then send it in the mail. Because this particular bookstore often has a lot of collectible pieces that aren't available anywhere else and are often sold out on places like Amazon. You can see their acrylic display case up above there. And I've noticed with people that also have access to this chain that the different chains won't always have the same inventory. So sometimes one location might have leftover pieces that someone needs for their collection that another location might not. So I don't know. It's an idea I've been playing with. I love those little chocolate frogs, that I might go in here and live stream from one of these locations and let people shop for more contemporary, like toy, graphic novel, manga collections, those sorts of things. Also, of course, books, and we love books here. So this was almost like a test run where I was seeing how much I could kind of walk around, keep the camera on the merchandise, also maybe talk about it a little bit. So like if people wanted to pick things up, it was kind of like a test run, like an audition of whether or not I could do this and it would be fun and easy or far too complicated. And it actually went pretty well. I actually ended up shopping quite a bit while I was doing this. So I don't know. I might. If there's interest, I might live stream from a location like this and let people shop. Because I know not everyone has access to this sort of thing. Like, look at all these Plague Doctor stuffies and plushies. This is a bookstore. So people do collect stuffed animals. And some of these are very well-made lines. Not always easy to find. A lot of real Akuma there. And here, Funko Pops. Again, highly collectible, contemporary collectible. I believe one of our friends was looking for some of those Hocus Pocus pops. So we were trying to contact her to let her know we had found a couple. This box was very badly damaged. Something to think about too, in a live stream, when someone's choosing your merchandise, like what I was thinking about doing here, you can look at the quality of the packaging and make sure you're not buying something damaged, versus very often in the mail things will come and they're already damaged. I'm so distracted. I love those pastel, those light, lovely lavender and blue plastics. They're very eye-catching, especially when they pair them with bright orange, that artisanal contrast of orange and blue. I think I was looking at that Pinocchio piece and then Winifred's orange hair there. Wolverine was back on that shelf. If Will had seen it, he probably would have picked it up. I don't know if I noticed while I was filming. These lovely, very large Funko Disney 100 pieces. Make great display pieces. Yeah, I'm just having fun looking at the Funko Pops at this point. I'm shopping for myself, I believe, at this point. Oh, see the damage to the corner of that box there up on the top right? I'm sure I wanted it, but was thinking to myself, oh, it's damaged. Which really does reduce the value of the piece. And here I found one that wasn't. So I believe this is the one I ended up purchasing. Funko Pops, always more valuable in their original boxes and with the boxes in good condition. Figural pins, also collectible. Little Godzilla piece there. Day of the Dead Little People. RuPaul Little People. Little People are actually collectible as well. I know quite a few people who collect hundreds of them. And that you can get vintage pieces from that line. Pusheen cats. Video game toys. Not sure where the gumball plushies came from. Over here it looks like there's a little bit of Tokidoki pieces perhaps. And again, this wasn't anyone attempting to destroy the packaging. Nothing was, shoplifted or stolen or anything like that. Just very often this sort of damage occurs in transit when these locations are getting a lot of inventory. I think that's what I was noticing. That the pieces that were left for the day were the damaged pieces, which just goes to show you how collectors want the nice pieces and will leave the damaged packaging behind. And they will often be, at this time, because this was towards evening at this point, the only things left available for purchase will be the damaged pieces. You have to get there early. You have to be there first on days when inventory comes in. More little people. They also have a ton of board games here. It's really, that's California in the winter, everyone. Beautiful, sunny, warm. They just have so many things here. This is their Studio Ghibli section. So you have collectible figurines and toys, and also graphic novels, DVDs available over here. Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, just all of the bests. And I love how this location does acrylic display cases over things like their Gundam, their Legos. I believe this was Dungeons and Dragons. They had an acrylic display with their finer collectible boxes at the top. I thought that was funny that they had the little plush gatekeeper from Dungeons and Dragons, little monster with all the eyes, but he's like he's adorable instead of terrifying. Again, more board games. Over here, we have Legoland, because on top of all of the collectible toys, books, graphic novels, board games, there's also an entire section devoted to things like LPs, records, and another section devoted to Legos. Boxed collections of display Lego sets. Just absolutely amazing, wonderful selection. Fun to look at. I don't put Legos together myself. I know people who do. I know a lot of these box sets, once they're sold out, can rise in value very quickly. Against their wall, there was stuff like Fender, I believe Hogwarts Castle, Disney collections. There was succulent plants you could buy, Marvel, DC, just about everything you can think of in Lego. This really is just an idea of a shopping day for us. We'll go and we will source fine antiques and vintage objects, often from estate sales. Sometimes we'll go to private auctions, which we can't really record a great deal of the time because they are by invitation only. And then very often we will go do personal shopping like this for more contemporary things. Sometimes to find specific things that someone has asked us to find. I believe on this day, someone was looking for a Neil Gaiman collection that I had shown on a previous video because they were hoping to have it signed in person at a signing they were going to, but they couldn't get the book shipped. So this location did have one, but it wasn't in good condition because the only piece they had left was a display piece. But I was able to talk to the employees on site and make sure that the collector who needed it could get one by mail from them that was still sealed. So it was a win. It was a good day overall. But this really is the sort of thing we'll do. Here I'm sneaking in shopping for magazines for myself. Because why not? If you're there anyway, if this is part of my work day, I might as well pick up a few magazines for myself. Magazines also can be a great way, whether you're a collector or looking to learn more about something, say, like anime, or which toys might be valuable. I mean, it's just, you can learn so much by reading, and magazines can be a fun and easy way to do that. Also, some magazines themselves are collectible. A lot of people who are into a paper ephemera will know this. There are a great many covers of magazines that are highly valuable, and also collections. Like a nice horror collection over time can accrue value, especially if it's in good condition. Magazines of certain movie and music releases, same thing. And also just kind of fun to add into a personal collection. Say you collect horror VHS and the occasional figure, a nice horror magazine could be a lovely display piece to put with that private collection. I liked the V cover a lot. I thought it was pretty breathtaking with all the gold paint. I think down there was mostly wedding. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I was thinking or doing at this point. I think I was just flipping through magazines for myself. I do like a beautiful fashion magazine. I pick them up. I keep them around. I will admit I prefer Italian Vogue to American Vogue. I am that person. I like their layouts better. I thought this was really funny because Ryan Gosling was recently in the Barbie movie. On the cover of this magazine, he has his Ken doll of himself in his pocket. As his pocket cloth. Instead of that, he has his own Ken doll action figure. I thought that was very charming and kind of goofy and eccentric. Just made for a really pretty cover. And also a very collectible cover for someone like a Barbie collector. That would be a very eclectic and unique piece, that magazine, to add in. Yeah, I kind of couldn't get over it. I kept picking it back up. I'm sipping tea while I'm doing the voiceover on this, guys. It's kind of a shame. I had great audio that I actually got in the store. I was talking to people. It was very pleasant. I was telling some people what I did. Everyone was very nice. People were telling me about the things they collect. Unfortunately, the radio in the background had music playing, which I didn't realize was so loud that I would get audio strikes for uploading it on YouTube. So I had to get rid of all the great audio from the estate sales and also from here in this bookstore. And now I'm having to voice over the whole thing. So I'll admit I'm a little sad about it. And I'm also drinking tea while I'm doing it. I'm not sure as well, but I was taken aback by how many Taylor Swifts. They had a whole section of just Taylor Swift. And again, but remember, those were likely published immediately previous to the Super Bowl for this year. So big moment in time for her and her current boyfriend. So a lot of periodicals with her face all over them. I think this was the day after the Super Bowl, and that was likely just what they hadn't sold out of yet. But again, looking at this, I'm thinking, which didn't really occur to me at the time, because when I was looking at the magazines, I really was just kind of looking around for myself. I am someone who will pick up Italian Vogue and a copy of Forbes, Gentleman's Quarterly, things like this. I enjoy it. I love having them around. But looking at it now, I'm wondering if people who might not have access to all of those would also maybe
the bookity books.
Every few months, like a live stream where they could purchase some of those for themselves. I'm not sure how widely available things like the French and Italian printings of fashion magazines are across the entire continental United States.
Oh, almost. Almost. I'm getting closer. Mangoland. Wow.
I get a little bit spoiled, I think. This is all manga, for instance. This is still the same bookstore. They have thousands of manga series. This was that Sandman book that I originally went back and looking for. As you can see, it's a little, because it's the only copy on the shelf, it is $50, $49.99. But you can see from doing exactly what I'm doing here that other patrons have done this as well. Pulling it forward, opening it up, that dust cover, and now also the corners are receiving quite a bit of shelf wear there. Not really what the person who wanted it needed. They needed a brand new sealed copy to open on site for Neil to sign. And it did look like the only one. But I did ask, and they had another one, and they were able to ship it. So that was a good day. That's not always the case, and I hate breaking bad news to people. It's possible as well that something like that might be available through Amazon. Excuse me. I'm not sure. I never checked. For stuff like that, I don't always trust Amazon. It's kind of like a final resort. Because sometimes it's very loose in a box and can come very banged up, which is what we were trying to avoid. Just hundreds and thousands of beautiful comic graphic novels lining these shelves. The Disenchanted, that's from the producers of The Simpsons, Matt Groening artwork. And then look at all the manga. Look at all this manga, you guys. If I were to live stream this, do you think people would want to buy these? My guess is there probably would be some people who would want access to these. Because I know not all of this is available online. And here, I'm looking at the finer collectible toys. So a lot of Bandai, Namco, Neko. These are higher level collectible models. I love Anya from Spy Family myself. I believe that was a little Black and White Wednesday Addams plush. This is a Schleich Rock Troll. Beautiful. Schleich makes beautiful toys. West German company. Here is this... I'm not sure what that was. It could have been My Hero Academia. It could have been Dragon Ball Z. I'm not sure. I went too quick. That's definitely Dragon Ball Z.
Nothing yet.
A little bit of Naruto. Looks like Demon Slayer's in there.
I'm going to get both of these and see if they'll let me keep the case too.
There's my Anya. I think at that point I was asking, well, hey, you think if I buy the last two, they'll let me keep the box? The empty packaging box? Because yes, I wanted that, and they did. I actually have it. I'm actually gonna put it in one of my card shows for Whatnot.
Oh my gosh, this looks awesome. The box is so
The box, not the Anyas. The Anyas are mine. You guys can't have them. I'm sorry.
Can hear all the little clickety clicks of the security devices going click 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 click.
I'm not sure who the blonde
Seriously,
was.
Nothing's better than
I think in there was a really nice example of an Attack on Titan figure as well. That darker figure where I was looking at the sides of the box.
It is a very happy place and it smells like books.
And then after the bookstore, welcome to our grocery shopping trip. Yeah, I clearly was hard up for footage to add into a video because we haven't made a video in a long time and I hadn't planned anything. So, but again, in full disclosure, this is me looking at soap, artisanal soap, because that's what I do when I go out for lunch. I'm very attracted to the artisanal soaps. This is just an example of what Will and I kind of do. Very early in the morning, we will get up very early. We will meet. We will go to estate sales, whichever one's open the earliest. Very often, we will schedule private auctions, sometimes auction warehouses, tours before lunchtime. If we have time in there, we might do some personal shopping, like what you saw at the bookstore. And then this is now lunch. So by 2 o'clock, estate sales usually are completely shut down. So we will usually be done by noon or 1 and go have lunch together. So here we resorted to going to a very nice grocery store that's in the area where we were, where they have a lot of things like vegan muffins, my personal favorite, fancy cookies. They have gelato here. They have pizza by the slice, fresh sushi. So it's a grocery store that feels more like 18 restaurants in one. It can be a lot of fun to go there for lunch. I guess this is something maybe only adults do, is go to grocery stores for lunch.
This one is just veggie. Those look good too.
Looking back on it though now too, if I were to do live streams from stores to let people shop, I almost wonder if people might not want like some cookies and stuff from some of these. Like, I don't know, maybe not everybody has access to Vindaloo curry. I'm not sure.
We're not there.
I think they probably do. I think they probably do. And honestly, I'm not sure how any of this stuff would be shippable. That would probably be a nightmare.
Plant-based cheese?
I have to say, though, I
Plant-based?
myself have
Yes.
attended live streams
Shipple.
from
and I
Epcot
found they
Center
have the yellow
and
curry
Disney
with
World
Thai
and
coconut
purchased
and
things
the-
like
and the
Gideon's
Thai-
cookies through a
'cause
live
I
stream
was
to
like,
have
they only
shipped
have the Vindaloo
to my door.
and the
Along with things
shawarma,
like
but they
Figment
had my yellow
pins from
curry.
Disney World,
I
the
didn't get
art
the yellow curry. You
festival,
want some
and
curries
prints
too?
signed by the
I got,
artist on site.
some
So
masala
live
and a
streamers are really
coconut
kind of
base,
helping
too.
everyone out. I'm
But
among
there's
them.
also,
I hope
like,
I'm helping
I don't
everyone
know,
out.
some other
But
stuff on the road.
I know
Stuff
for a
is
fact
very
that people live streaming from
Welcome
places
to our
like
shopping
Epcot
trip.
gave me access to purchasing things that I
oh my
otherwise
gosh,
wouldn't have been
the
able to.
Vindaloo
So
funny.
just very thankful for that, and also wondering
That's
if
like when
maybe
we were
people
getting all
want
the
access
Hello
to some of
Kitty
the stuff that I have
ramens.
access to.
That's adorable.
That was really funny. That was ramen, but it was BT21 ramen.
We have noodles, right?
So it's like
Pad Thai, honestly.
kind of like along the lines of Hello Kitty. And that's it. That's our shopping day. Thanks for watching the video.